Pretty hot in here.
3, 2, 1. Hey,
All right,
hey!
Gamer Dan, mate. Welcome. Thanks actually for last week. That was well. In case you don't know, there's a week past between now and last episode, and we just ended with the game Nintendo Game Direct
Well, we're
introduction
halfway
of the.
through. We are for those you who are watching, but we're halfway through the Nintendo Direct from this month. I know it's taking us a bit of time, but we're slowly kind of coming back from the shock of the last game.
Yeah, my gosh.
And in fact, if you can get sharing
Oh my
permission,
goodness. Yes, to get that going on. Three, two, one. Sorry,
uh,
mate. You're going.
no worries.
There we go. Three, two, one. I think you got it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we are watching, and what we're going to do is pick up where we left off, and we're going to watch the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, mate. And sorry,
Here
people, I'm
we
gonna keep
are.
munching on this thing I made. I don't even know what it is.
Garlic bread?
It's kind of, yeah, but I just put a bunch of stuff together. It's practically garlic bread. Yeah.
It's a hobo delight. Yeah, I've had a few of those.
Mm.
Cool, cool. So, I want to take you for
take you for a ride.
Take you for a ride. Yeah, yeah. I see the reference.
I'm stoked for this, actually.
Fighting their way onto Nintendo Switch as one
Oh my God. Oh my God.
fighter.
Look at that, people.
Marvel vs.
Jeez,
Capcom.
See, Marvel vs. Capcom is the one I'm excited for.
I played this game to the smithereens when I was 13. I came to Japan first time. I was just playing the hell out of it. Now the Punisher, that's like a Fatal Fury. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Good one, very good quality, but not in the top tier. It's no Turtles in Time.
Ah, is it? I see. Is it good as Fatal Fury in your opinion? I mean, one player mode. No,
It's
not Fatal Fury.
close.
Excuse me.
It's close.
Wrong word.
Fatal
I'm gonna
Fury.
say- I'm gonna
Fatal
say
Fury
Final
2 is my favorite in the series, and Punisher's good quality, well made, but just not really impressive.
Fight. Sorry, I meant to say Final Fight. Sorry, people, I mixed up. Is it good as Final Fight?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But give me that.
Oh man, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that.
Gorgeous. It's
I'd say
arcade
there's-
classics.
It's so many good games, all it's put together. I was really disappointed with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, actually, with the Infinity Gems.
That's a story, man. Top Gear
As
man
a-
really broke it down.
Yeah, we will
licensing.
talk. We will talk at length about that. But the classic ones, peerless,
Mm.
absolutely, without question, fantastic. Even the really earlier ones, the Children of Atom, I love that game. It's a little bit rusty, the edges aren't polished, but you can see the progression as you play the games. You can see them getting smarter. They're getting aerials. They're figuring out how this game is going to work, because each fighting game, as I understand it, has kind of its own flavor, its own style of fighting. Like Tekken is a very down, gritty, grappling style. Street Fighter is a little bit more zoning. It's a little bit more tactics and projectile based. And then you've got your Marvel vs. Capcom, which is all aerial, baby. It's all up all the time.
That's it, and not to mention it's chaotic, apparently inspired by the Rainbow Edition of Street Fighter 2, that had multiple characters on stage at once, multiple volleys at once, and projectiles. And then apparently that chaotic nature of that pirate game inspired Marvel vs. Capcom to have multiple characters on stage at once. And people love the chaotic nature, apparently.
A good topic for a future video would be how hacks and mods and fan-made games have influenced mainstream counterparts. How, people took the games that they liked, they modded them to make them more suited to better taste. People love the mods, and then the companies pay attention and go, oh, this is something people want.
I wonder, what do you think, Gamer Dad? Do you think there'll be a mod of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but putting in all the unlicensed characters?
To be fair, there was a time I would have thought it, but because games have become so complex, the 3D models are so detailed, creating the right hitboxes is difficult. But you get games like older games you can mash together. You get like Mugen, which is just an ongoing fighting game. It's just Street Fighter 2, but every fighting game character you can put in is in Mugen. So yeah, that's fun. But because the characters models are just pixelated, because they're just 2D, because they are simple enough to add, you can mod them, you can do them effectively. If you wanted more modern games, that would require a whole group of people working on it. I salute RPG modders, guys who mod, Skyrim and all the Bethesda's garbage. I salute you. You're doing God's work. But if you want to mod Marvel vs. Capcom 3, just throw you in a padded cell. There's no help for you.
I was thinking about, have you seen people remake like GoldenEye, for example, and even Mario with the Unreal Engine, like Mario sequel. It's like
apparently, the way it's supposed to be played, like the quintessential way to play GoldenEye, PC, mouse control, up-resed. Play GoldenEye that way, emulate it on in a higher fidelity with a mouse. It is just transcendent. It is the way it should be played. And I gotta say, I love that game, but the control style is a little clunky at this point, I
gotta say, man.
Using the yellow buttons to strafe.
I think the funny thing about the GoldenEye game, what you said, if you use a mouse, of course, I can pick off people's headshots with the headshots anytime. But I think the fact that it was so difficult to play with the controller, it
was good for the time.
But I think the difficulty may make it actually fun in that the fact that you have to play it as replay. It's a bit like as a replay value. It's a bit like Guru Larry once put a video about the history of why joysticks in arcades are on the left, I believe. No, on the right.
Yeah, they're on the left, and then they've got the buttons on the right.
Right. So, but originally they were the other way around. But they're done that way to mess with you, to make you have to play harder to win. So if that's the case, then it stands to reason that the control limitations or the difficulties that come with N64's GoldenEye actually are part of the
challenge.
To make you want to keep trying.
Yeah, but that just feels like an unnecessary barrier to good gameplay. I want to play effectively. I don't want to have to spend time mastering a poor control scheme in order to play effectively. That's why I do like the fact that most, if not all, first-person shooters have become uniformly programmed. They'll have variations in the buttons, true, but one to move, one to look. Two control stick method, that works. And once you start changing that, people don't like it. People don't get it because they want to be able to pick it up and at least have a basis of how it's going to work. Two control sticks, one for movement, one for camera. I think that works perfectly, and it's a bold, if foolhardy, company that tries to change that. If you want to change it, you better have a good reason to change it. You better be a good impetus to do so. But moving along.
Fantastic, mate.
We've got some amazing hits coming up. I like Kamek as a character.
Oh, this guy from who got his fingers crushed in the Mario movie when he's doing the Peaches song.
On an enormous island Brazil.
No.
Get ready to jump into the biggest
God, what's this?
Mario Party mini games yet in
Mario Party.
Super Mario Party Jamboree.
I've always enjoyed Mario Party. I mean, yeah, it makes my blood boil, but it's fun. It is fun.
Take the escalator.
Fantastic, mate.
This is the one I really want to watch. I want to play in the Galleria. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Coins to get a
Oh
star
my
price when they're on flash sale.
goodness.
But act fast. Ride around and stay on track in
It's almost like this. I kicked myself for not being a Switch.
Turbo Dice Island. You can move up to
So many
4
good
spaces
games.
with a lucky roll.
Oh my god. I can have it. This looks like
The ebb
I
and
can bring
It looks amazing.
and
I can. This looks like a pure
when the volcano
delight to play with others and have fun with.
along with 5 new game boards.
Look at that. Mega Wiggler's Tree Party, King Bowser's Keep, Bowlam Raceway, Goomba Lagoon, Rainbow Galleria. They look fantastic. Beautiful environments to play a board game in.
2 boards from previous Mario Party games make their return.
Oh my
Some
god.
new games are action-packed challenges, speed trials,
This is wicked, man.
wins, and more. And some are controlled by gently shaking or tilting your Joy-Con controllers. With over 100
I love it.
games.
The arm wrestling, that is so fantastic. Man.
The game's only there for a few seconds, but they are fun. It is just, you play a board game and then you play a mini game. You play a board game, you play the mini game.
Mode. Compete against your rivals and aim for first place. Try your best.
I wonder what in the world.
I want to try this. 20 people in one Mario Party. That's going to be fun.
Wait, there are even more new moves.
Genius.
The
Have you
biggest Mario Party yet.
please let us know, man, because I'm thinking of
When the
because
Super
we have
Mario
one of these at one of my
Party
schools,
game launches
and
on Nintendo
let's say
Switch
one of my
System
schools, it's
October
really the school
17th.
anyway, and we're thinking of adding a game to the catalog, but thanks to you, you could kind of let us know what it's like. You haven't played
Oh
this yet.
yeah, the moment it comes out, I'm picking this up and having a
Yeah.
bit of fun. I am, as an end of year treat, last year I brought my TV and my Switch and I wired it all up at the school. So the final week, I just played Mario Party and Mario Kart with the kids, and for the most part, it was really well loved. But it was supposed to be I was supposed to be teaching. Like,
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? But you have to have if you have like a reward session for it. Now you've done the
I
study.
thought it was it was the last day of the year. We've already finished the tests, the finals. Figured, screw it, let's just play games. And it went down an absolute treat. Kids loved it, and I gotta say, I got a newfound respect for some of my students who were good enough to give me a run for my money. I always thought, oh yeah, I'm the adult here, I can complete it. Nope, I got my ass handed to me by some of my students, and I couldn't be prouder. But this is Mario Party's always been a bit of a contentious game. I think contentious because the board game is frustrating. It's very randomized. There's a lot of random elements. So, the mini games, a lot of fun. Some are difficult. So there's always one or two that are really prickly. But for the most part, it's a simple method. You play the game, you run around the board, but there's so much randomness in it that it's difficult to ensure victory. One turn can make the guy at the back right at the front, and then after the game is finished, after all the turns end, they give out bonus rewards, and that could just swing. Like the guy at the end wins the overall thing. Or why? Because he was last for the longest period. Here's 5 stars. What? but that chaos.
Banding.
Yeah, the joke is that the Mario Party is chaotic. It's not reliable, but it's chaotic. But there's a joy in that. It's supposed to be fun. It's that Nintendo is really good at finding ways of making their games accessible to everyone. It's like in Mario Kart, the probability of finding certain items. As you get further down the line, the better weapons become more available because they want to make the people at the back, give them the best opportunity to catch up. If you're at the front, you're getting coins and bananas, effectively useless. By then you should have already got 10 coins. But it's smart, you're not going to give people at the beginning ways of pushing further ahead. They want to keep the pack as close together to keep the battling going. And Super Mario Party is very much like that. If you're doing well, it will hinder you. If you're doing poorly, it'll help you. But it wants everyone to be around the same place to keep the tension going, keep the kind of frustration. It's frustrating when you're trying to win. But if you're just playing with friends, it's an absolute blast.
Fantastic, yeah, dude. It's funny. Another teacher said to me, "It's a bit communistic, if you will, the way it's trying to get everybody to move together, which has its benefits. But that's like you said, naturally it breeds frustration, just as the philosophy does.
As a product, it's supposed to be a party. It's supposed to get everyone together and to be battling it out amongst themselves. If one person's just pulled right ahead and just keeps crushing everyone, it's kind of a disheartener, But if everyone thinks they've got a shot, they're going to try a little harder, they're going to get a little bit more invested, and the game's going to be a little bit better. So it's not fair, but it is fun.
Exactly. That's the thing. I appreciate the rubber banding for that reason, but it's funny. Even not rubber banding isn't always this. It's not like a hardline communistic thing where it's like you at the top, you're going to go to the back. It gives you at the back the best weapons, but you can always break somebody who's getting those bullet bills or getting those giant mushrooms to propel them to the front, but they're still not going to win.
Yeah. If you're far enough back that you're getting a bullet bill, you need the help.
Yeah, but still, it's people that you're not going to win, but at least you had a fighting chance.
That's fair. I say I can't. I've played every single Mario Kart since the first. Every single one I've played. I've owned all of them, and I can say I've pretty much completed most of them. I've gotten golds on all of the settings. Even the 200cc's, the mirror races, those are annoying. You spend ages getting used to the track, and then you have to reverse it. Ugh. But It's a great game, and I've come back from massive failures, and I've been way out ahead, and then one failure, boom, I'm near the back. And honestly, it's just fun. It's just a fun game.
But again, with that,
Right,
you know
moving
what?
along.
But before we jump on, everybody, just so you know, you probably picked up by now that Dan and I teach. But I don't know who it was last year. We used to work together. There was a quiz that was passed around where you name is a localization game, right? Where you name the
Yeah.
character as it's named in England, well, the West versus Japan. Do you? But I'm looking for one right now for Mario Kart, and
Oh, I have one from the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like all the characters from Ultimate. That's fun. You
okay,
get the Japanese. If I'm honest, you give it the Japanese, and they have to guess the English.
super. And everybody out there, I just want to let you know it's a full of laughs. If anybody out there would love any more content like that from Gamer Dan or I, let us know because we're nerds about games. But
Hell, even I don't remember all the Japanese names, but hang on. Right.
yep, let's move
Moving
on,
on.
mate.
Moving along, we got more to watch.
That was an installment in the Mario Party series, Super Mario Party Jamboree, with new boards, mini games, 20-player online gameplay, and more.
When you play,
Goodness, you can see Hayato, Miyaha. We've got Sasha. We've got very westernized names. We've got Chinese names. We've got Japanese names. This is the online feature looks to be fairly international. It's not. Maybe it'll be by server, but it looks to be pretty open. Cool.
let's give this a go for sure.
Get ready for the biggest Mario Party in series history. And now, please take a look at this.
Click. I'm gonna miss the switch. Well, maybe not. Maybe the next thing will be the. What am I looking at here? Come on, reveal. Ganon. Let me see Ganon. Yo, what is this game? What is it? Tell me. Yeah, I know it's Zelda, but come on. That looks pretty awesome, to be honest. It's like it's based on the original. What the? Oh no. No, this is new. I love it. It's the chibi style, if you will. What the? Huh? Whoa. Are you playing as Zelda? Wait, hold on. Talking too much. Gorgeous. Oh, I love the exposition. Good grief. Look at that exposition, people. Echoes of
No, this
wisdom.
is a Zelda game! No, this is a Zelda game! And yes, you're right, we get to play as Princess Zelda! Actually, the name is true! Finally!
That's genius. Genius.
Yeah, I gotta say,
just
so,
genius.
I love you said that you like the chibi style. This is the same game engine, and the same art style as the remake of Link's Awakening. There was a Game Boy game, Link's Awakening, very, very successful because the game was really, really well crafted. But it's a Game Boy game, it's tiny. So they took it and they polished it up for the Switch. And they used this kind of chibi toy polished style to it. And it was really well received. It was a perfect recreation, just done up and added a little bit more content. Good for them. But they took that same style and they're going with a brand new Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom. And yes, for the first time in a legitimate game, not in like a spin-off or side game. We're not talking about Smash. We are playing a game as Zelda, but what's important is
Hallelujah.
yeah, but the moment this dropped, people went crazy, but it's important to remember Zelda's not Link. Link is the protagonist, he's the warrior, he's the champion of courage.
Ooh.
She's the champion of wisdom. So Echoes
Strategist?
of Wisdom makes sense. She's a bit more of a strategist. She's smart. She's the smart one. Link is the strong one. So, check it out.
Well. Look at the exposition again. Oh my god.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eiji Aonuma, producer of the Legend of Zelda series.
Love Eiji Aonuma.
He made the Zelda.
He's been a producer for years. Yeah, he's made loads.
Yeah. And he was battling against giving Link a voice years ago. So we can.
Now it's up to stay.
Oh, clever! So that they bow to her because she's the bloody princess.
The princess, of course.
Yes. This is
So,
clever,
Castle.
isn't it? I mean, look at it. We finally got the Peaches game. They thought to themselves, we got to have a Zelda game where Zelda's actually the protagonist for a bloody change.
Yeah.
It's after Princess Peach Showtime.
Please take
I respect the fact that they're gonna give her a game, but they're not gonna do like a big 3D game. They're gonna do a little mini game. They're gonna play around with some new mechanics, and they're gonna try and see if there's a market for it. I think this game is gonna sell well. People are interested. People are very interested in it, and because it's so. Let's watch first and talk later.
Okay.
I have stuff to say. But
Stolen away
Come on, people.
across the vast lands of Hyrule, strange rifts
Heaven.
and have taken many people, including
That's funny.
now a tribe, receives a mysterious staff called the Tri-Rod and sets off on a journey across Hyrule to save her kingdom. By waving the Tri-Rod at a table she found, Zelda learned how to create an imitation of it called an echo.
echoes of
Learn
wisdom.
an echo of something, you can recreate it whenever you'd like.
Oh my god!
Wall blocking your
Oh my
path,
god!
you can create echoes of tables to get a leg up. Like that.
That is so clever.
You can
I
create
love it! I want to work at Nintendo. Please, God, make it happen.
unusual things like water blocks.
People say, stick to me.
Separately or together is entirely up to you.
I love that. She made an echo of a water block. Then she stacked water blocks and just swam up. Oh, beautiful.
I'm dead, Gamer Dan. After the end of the video, I'm going to be a skeleton.
You might be surprised at what
Such a nice twist to the whole Minecraft thing. Everything's Minecraft, and yeah, I think Minecraft, isn't it? You have all these games where people are just giving collections of items.
Wait for it.
Echo, for example. That's not all, though. You can also create echoes of monsters.
What?
Doing so, they'll fight by your side.
She's able to create her own warriors. She's able to create monsters to
talking
fight for
about?
her.
What are you
That's
talking about?
clever.
What are you talking about?
Now, it's important. An important feature to look at, right? Tri is her little companion. Like most of these games, Link gets some kind of a companion. Tri is hers. But look above the head of the monster. She created a bokoblin, and he's got a little triangle. Now, there were 3 triangles behind her fairy friend, and now there's only 2. I reckon that's a counter for. And then as the game goes on, you're going to build that counter out. So she could create 3 objects or a third tier object. So, and if it takes 3 triangles to make this thing, so that's going to be a hard limitation. You can only make so many. But as the game goes on, fight a monster, get 1 more triangle, more monsters, more triangles, until you're able to create a whole army of monsters to attack for you. Cool.
Oh my god, sorry, I'm chewing. Let's keep it playing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk, sorry.
Monsters have different abilities, so choose the one you want to create.
What are you talking
based on
about?
the situation.
Look at this.
Is key after all.
That is fantastic.
So she put down food, attracts all the enemies. Then she puts down another monster to attack them all grouped together. That's clever.
Oh my
I like
God.
this. I like it's showing that you've got to work through these situations. You've got to be the smart one. You've got resources, but how do you implement them?
Dude.
It's clever.
Oh my god. You bloody genius. I want to buy it right now. Forget everything else. Right now.
In a high
No, this is one of my favorite games. Second to Marvel vs. Capcom.
kingdom is now
Seriously, right now, of all I've seen, I want to play this one. Like,
It looks really good.
How was that?
that is so bloody clever. I want to go to. I can't believe Professor Susan went to the headquarters. If I was her, I'd bust through to the top floor.
There are a lot.
Who made this game? Speak to me!
I haven't.
Before I get arrested.
How you solve puzzles.
Look at that.
Will change
Head.
depending on
That's Minecraft right there, but.
In short, we've created a game where
Look at that. Just create a fire monster, throw it into the grass. It burns the grass and it kills all the monsters hiding in the grass.
Oh my god! Not to
It's
mention
this wonderful,
Turbo.
it's this wonderful little chains of events. Like in Minecraft, you can set up dominoes. Do this thing, it reacts with this thing, it reacts with that thing, and blah blah blah, blah, and then you get the desired result. And I love this because it encourages experimentation, but it does feel a little bit like I'll hold my negative thoughts until afterwards. But check this out.
Not to mention,
This
he's
is
not equal.
Each player's
He's not eco-friendly.
That's a re-dead.
Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom launches.
Jesus, hallelujah! I gotta say, again, not eco-friendly, man. If you're setting forest fires, but
The Legend of Zelda series.
If you look picking up a Switch, maybe get yourself a golden Switch Lite coming out soon.
holy moly!
Looks good. I am absolutely
Each player's
Stoked.
experience will be
stoked is the right word. I am stoked for this game. This is beautiful. I'm glad that they kept this art style. It's coming back. It's going to be a lesser used, but a recurring art style. Good. It worked. Wow. It's good for the smaller, the more experimental, the games that are, they can't commit more resources to. Don't. Just give us a smaller game. Give us the throwaway ones. I'm willing to have a bad Zelda game in this style if they're trying a new thing. That works for me. Don't waste money on a gamble, but give us the gamble. Save money. But having Zelda be the protagonist, great. Different gameplay style, necessary. She's not going to grab a sword and a shield. She's not going to be pulling off the skills that Link has. That's a Link's role. Give her a different role. I like this.
Yeah.
It
Even
even
give us what that would suck. So yeah,
exactly.
This is it, mate.
She's not a new Link.
I'll give my views in a moment. Should I go first? You go first.
There's a lot. Very excited. A lot of got positive things to talk about, but and I do have to put a caveat. As a long time Zelda fan, historically, Zelda games followed a very specific formula. They were fairly linear games. They were narratively written. It was the journey of a character to defeat a great evil. And Zelda games tended to be quite narrative. Skyward Sword was the critical mass, the turning point, the straw that broke the camel's back. That game is so aggressively linear. You can't do anything but the next thing. And people didn't like that. They didn't felt that they were railroaded. Zelda's games are best when there's a bit of free form. You can go different places, do different things. You give us this beautiful world and you say, I can only go here? That's not fair. So along comes Breath of the Wild. They just throw out all the traditions. They throw out the tropes and they go, okay, let's go freeform. And Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, fantastic games. But because they are so open, narratively, you're learning the story ad hoc. You're learning it as it happens. The events have already occurred. You're living in the aftermath. So all you're doing is just picking up the pieces and putting them together to figure out what happened. Exactly. This game feels like the 2D Zeldas are going the same way. Zelda can create anything and go anywhere. Okay, yeah, but are you going to tell us a good story, or are you going to give us a playpen we can make anything in? Is this like Gary's Mod, Zelda Edition?
Interesting. That's an interesting argument.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love Breath of the Wild, and I love Tears of the Kingdom, but I think it's a very different experience, and it's not a bad idea to keep the 2D Zeldas, the simpler Zeldas, in more the classic Zelda archetype. Hey, go here, do this, learn the story as you go. Each chapter, each area unlocks more information. You can always backtrack, go to older places with new abilities. Yeah, sure, but it doesn't have to be. We don't have to throw all our eggs in one basket. Yeah. I know, have the 3D Zeldas go the way of Breath of the Wild. They are giant sandboxes. We can do anything, go anywhere. Great. And with Tears of the Kingdom, we have the ability to add stuff together to make our own vehicles. Ultimate freedom. But the 2D Zeldas maybe keep some of the classic gameplay styles alive. Keep the similar, the tropes that made the series popular. Zelda was very, very popular before Breath of the Wild. It was a beloved series even back then. Let's just keep this, keep it going. That way we're serving both demographics. The new games are doing the new thing, and we love that. But the older games, they still get some love.
I feel you. Yeah, definitely. But that being said, to be fair, it's just you're addressing this game in particular, right?
I'm just concerned that this game the abilities that Zelda has, this idea of creating an echo, being able to copy any item, or at least most items, and then freeform, jury rig, MacGyver your way through the game, feels it feels more like a Breath of the Wild premise. Like Tears of the Kingdom, you could just find items and jury rig your way to the end. Now we've got a 2D game where you can find items and jury rig your way to the end. Ooh,
Well,
we've had that. We've had that.
I think this is an experiment. As much as it's a new thing, and they hope people get excited about it. I'm sure they're not going to be too bothered if it doesn't take off too much. Even though of course, they want it to succeede.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a success. It's going to make its money back. But will it be the critical darling?
Yeah, what I think. I mean, some people in the comments would say this: the roles of Zelda. You don't just put her in Link's shoes and have her do all his stuff. I like the fact that, like you said, she has a different talent that she's bringing to the gameplay experience, and but for that matter, especially in the wake of the Switch, as you say, which is a blend of the handheld and the home console in itself. You have right here an attempt to blend two different kinds of Zeldas, one aesthetically and one kinesthetically, if you will, and so on.
Movement and gameplay, that stands up.
So therefore, we have an experiment right here where people are saying, what if we did this? Especially after, again, Peach Showtime. Here we have Zelda with her debut for it, and here she is bringing a different approach, which looks like again, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Minecrafty, build your kind of world experience, but with a bit of Pokemon going on as well, where you can take enemies and recreate them to make them fight for you, which is, I think, very genius. But as you say, I mean, I personally, I'm like, I love criticism, whether it's constructive or deconstructive. It's just honest criticism, because you can learn from it. But I personally, I'm all for it, and I don't think if they get the blowback, they'll of course revert to type. But naturally, what we have here is potential third lane. Maybe there'll be another Zelda game starring Zelda.
Maybe. Honestly, for me, the best timeline is this game's going to come out. It's going to be really well crafted and there's going to be some clever solutions to puzzles. But because you can go about the puzzles in any way, it's going to create a lot of personality. People are going to be able to inject a lot of individualism to the way they play the game. But there should be enough variety and enough challenges that people enjoy the game. The game is a success, and that leads to maybe its own series of Zelda games. But I do think that it means that, just like Peach's Showtime, that game came out, it was a smaller, self-contained game, but did reasonably well. This game comes out, does very, very well. That means that in a bigger sense, later, larger scale games will have Link or Zelda be playable. You'll be able to play as Link in the classic style, and then maybe a section of the game, or swap to Zelda with her own gameplay style. She gets to play, but you can do both of them, I like the idea that future games will give me more options with the character, but I'm also, maybe I'm being a fuddy-duddy, maybe I'm just being old, maybe it's just the grey in my hair, but I want to show the old games love. I love those old games, and I just like the idea that maybe once in a while they'll bring out a classic style Zelda game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So do you feel like that's not been reflected enough in today's?
Maybe so. Maybe it's just the fact that this game looks to be set in the same world as Link to the Past, which could make this the third in a trilogy. This is literally the third game in the series. Link to the Past was the first game in one version of Zelda Hyrule. Then A Link Between Worlds was literally the sequel. It was following on with the same Hyrule, but gave us Lorule, gave us a parallel world that breached onto it. And now we're getting literally parts of this world are being pulled into a breach. Part of the trailer showed us that there are going to be these pocket worlds we get to go in. Where did she steal water from?
Create wooden boxes.
All in one boxes, beds.
An unusual thing.
Where is this? It naturally.
Yeah.
This looks like chunks of the world have been taken to this pocket dimension or this parallel space. I think, periodically we're going to go into these places and try and navigate them. We're going to try and return the pieces of the world back to Hyrule. So, maybe this is the result of the link between worlds. We changed that world, and it meant it's destabilized the barriers between worlds. So now pieces of our world have been pulled into others, a la, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh my gosh, you connected the.
Yeah, that's just where my mind is going. But it does mean maybe it's the third in a trilogy. In an actual Zelda trilogy, like a solid chronology of events. And I gotta say, yes, please. Yes, please. All of that. No, in my face. Just put it into my veins, shut up and take my money.
That is it, dude. Oh, the last thing I do want to say that, yeah. I think, your analysis is spot on. The final.
I'd like that. I want that to be happening. As I said, that for me, that's the best timeline.
Yeah.
But I just think it's going to be a self-contained thing. It's going to be its own Hyrule, similar but separate, like most of the Hyrules are, and it's going to be Zelda's journey to take out Link.
I think I think you may have been onto something. I watch out for it. I got a feeling that one thing about these game developers at Nintendo, I think sometimes they're a bit clever in that they put little things in there that they see if people notice, and if they get a certain response, they try and embellish it later. But maybe that's me being hopeful. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you're quite right. I mean, for a long time, the Zelda games were not canon to each other. Each Zelda game was a self-contained story. They weren't supposed to connect. But after so many games and so many recurring themes, the fans were like, "Hey, how do these connect?" And then Nintendo brought out the official timeline, the three-pronged timeline, which loosely fits because a lot of the smaller ancillary details, like certain enemies or certain items, occur in each timeline, and that's how you know where these things fit. But Breath of the Wild threw all that away. It had elements from all the timelines.
That is it, dude. Well, by the way, before you jump on, the frozen image. The cover art at the end. The final image that they show. If you go back a few frames around about here, where is it? Yeah, that one. I like that little mini Ganon thing. I've never seen that enemy before. No, I mean, I don't the little one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, that's a Bokoblin. That's a Bokoblin. It's a very common one. You got an Octorok. You got your chest. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's like a floating plant thing. There's one in Mission Cap. Zelda and Minish Cap. I'm playing right now. I'm almost near the end of that game, so yeah, those are annoying. But
well, I was wrong about the Bokoblin. No, of course I'll put some Bokoblin, but it looks the fact that I don't know. Maybe
it's a pig demon thing that resembles Ganon. Pigs are often symbolized as one of the three sacred animals: pigs, owls, and dragons, each representing a part of the Triforce. Pigs represent power and are identified by Ganon and the demons. Owls represent the royal family, or birds and the wisdom, and dragons represent courage and Link.
I never caught that actually. It's funny because you have
it's just little details throughout most of the games. It's these little motifs that occur. You see it on people's clothing or on the items. Like you can just see there. He's got the Hyrulean shield. It has the crest of the royal family. It's got a bird on it.
It's an owl.
It's logically it should be an owl. It could be a Skyloft, one of the birds used by the founders of Hyrule from the first game in the timeline, Skyward Sword. There's little touches all over. It could be this, it could be that. That if these games are part of the same universe, it means that each game occurs thousands, tens of thousands of years after the last. So the landscape has changed. The cultures have changed. What was common then is gone. But moving on, we do good about this. It's exciting. New Zelda game, and I gotta say, near the end of the Switch's lifetime, towards the end of the Switch's life, we're getting a brand new spanking Zelda. last week when we were talking about this, I said that it's amazing to see the push that Nintendo's doing for what should be, this was supposed to be their swan song, a goodbye. Baby, there is years. This is going to be a bumper crop of games. People are excited.
Dude, this is what I love about the world of gaming, especially Nintendo and Switch, is because there are no really. I mean, if you do it properly, every end is a new beginning, and this here, as they're saying, is no. We got something new coming on, and we're gonna transition with a good chunk of games to enjoy for those who are transitioning from the Switch to the next device, and. Here, you're doing it properly. If it was Swan Song and going down, then it would seem like a failure. I mean, not failure, but it would seem like defeat.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. If they did bring out a terrible direct with some lackluster games and a lot of ports, you'd be like, "Oh, you've given up." Well, we'll just wait for the next one. But they do. I think they want to push. They want that final hard push to get people buying Switches to become the number one.
That's it.
They want that number one spot. Plus, let's be honest here. The Switch library is so massive and so successful. There's no way the Switch 2 isn't backwards compatible. So all these games are going to be available.
Yes, you're telling me. But the only thing is, when you have such a massive catalog, it makes you wonder. I mean, we've lived through the Wii and the Wii U and so on. But how do you...
I like the way you said that. We lived through the Wii and the Wii U. Oh, dark days.
No, that was Freudian slip, wasn't it? But what I meant to say was, I wonder what they'll do to therefore make you buy new games on the new device. It would have to be, maybe it's a new way you play it. Like, again, the Wii U came out, and if it's backwards compatible, the new games are HD, or you play it in a different way. So what are you going to do with the new Switch to make the new library?
I think that the start of the Switch's lifespan, they rolled out a massive game almost every month. For the first year, they came out swinging. It was like it was brutal. It was bam, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart.
Yes.
They had bangers, absolute bangers, consistently, bam, 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 to get people to buy the Switch. Because the Wii U was such a failure, they learned their lesson. They took their knocks. Nintendo made some smart decisions. They marketed it well, and then it was just like a flurry of big titles coming out rapid succession, and people are like, "Wow, the Switch looks amazing. It plays great. What? New Mario? What? This?" It built so much hype, people jumped on it. But the Switch is so successful that they're not going to change. I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be rapid change. I do think that it's going to be a much more powerful game. That it's going to go, hey, the Switch 2 is way stronger. It's got new ways of playing, true. But it's also going to be backwards compatible. So all the Switch games you love, bam, on the Switch 2, looking better than ever. It's also, look at what we can do now. And it shows off the new quality, the new fidelity, the new abilities. It's like, all these new ways of doing things. But, and I'm going to reserve judgment until I've seen it. It's coming soon. It's we should have more information in 6 to 9 months. So, within the year, we'll know. Moving on.
Yo, this is great, Gamer Dan. You really bring a lot of joy to a lot of us.
This is something I'm really, really passionate about. It's like when you see people talking about their passion and you think, God damn it, you just get excited. Well, a Nintendo Direct is a good day for me. I've got lots to talk about.
Yes, sir.
I want that hat. I want that shirt.
Yeah, oh my god. And I'm going to come to, Professor Suzuka down all the way to Kyoto and grab it off him.
I was really hoping that we could get her. She's busy at the moment, but I was really hoping she could come and talk about Dragon Quest. But
yeah, I'll catch her up eventually, but I understand she's busy in the new digs.
Yeah.
Let loose and party on.
Okay, it's funny. I've been playing a lot of dance games recently. I know it. Yeah, in the school I'm at, we have this dance contest in some parts of the day, and all these kids dance. So I get up there and I do my movements. And I'm
before we continue, we're just gonna stop sharing. I'm going to reshare without the audio because it's going to be playing a lot of popular songs, and we don't want to get demonetized.
Cheers, mate. You're very considerate.
So just kind of making that point. I say continue. You're talking about you've been playing dancing games.
Yeah, the Just Dance series, 2025 edition. Yeah, I mean, it's what's very fun about it is that when the dance games first came out, I mean, you know me, I'm a Buster Groove kind of person, and all the way from the PS1 days, and I love that game. When the dancing games came out with the Wii, I never really played those, but it looked even though I was speaking with ignorance, it looked as though the Kinect dance games would make more sense because they track your body. But I was very surprised. Yeah, exactly. But I was very surprised at how fun it is to just have a go dancing with the the Switch controller, the Joy-Con.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, because when you do that, you hundreds of songs. Yeah, when you do that, you have more room to fail. It's Well, I guess when you're doing it with the Kinect, you're imagining that you're being assessed for form and all this. But so even if the kids, I've seen like there's like a bunch of kids in my school, little tiny ones, and they're just doing their movements, and but they're really getting into it, and I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So this it's the there's it's really impressive how much fun you can have with a thingamajig, a Joy-Con in a dance game. I was really taken aback with them, and for that matter, what can I say? The song collection, very good. I'm into me. I'm a karaoke person, musical guy. When I was like last thing I mentioned in here, when I worked plug and when I was doing the game testing at Xbox, blah blah blah, and we were doing this those songing games, Rockstar, no, not Rockstar, one of the
Rock
singing
Band.
games. Yeah, Rock Band. Yeah, and there was another one where it just had all these pop songs, and you get to sing along, and of course it occurred to me how country specific that is. Because I was singing all these English songs. These When it comes to dance, however, you don't have, it's a lot. I think it's a lot more accessible than a singing, ironically, than the singing game because
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you there. I mean, yeah, these Just Dance games is an Ubisoft company, which is a French company, but they're selling American music. I mean, it's Green Day, for God's sake. But admittedly, I'm excited for that. And yeah, I too love a good dance game. I like a little bit of dance, but I did a lot of drama and dance when I was younger. So having a dance game, that's just fun for me. And the Switch remotes, yeah, that's great. I even got a Zumba game. I do that periodically, a bit of exercise. It's a lot of fun. They're really good quality, but I don't know. I thought they weren't going to do any more editions. I think like a year or two ago, like one of the later editions had the Ubisoft or Just Dance subscription, where you sign up and then you could just get all the previous songs. So that they added new songs and all the previous songs were available. So it's like, oh yeah, you can buy the game and you get this, or you sign up for the subscription and you get everything. But then I thought, oh, well then just keep updating this. It's like when you mentioned Rock Band, the guitars and the singing, the classics of the plastic controllers age.
Yeah.
That was a fun time, but expensive. Everyone had
quite short-lived,
peripherals
isn't
all
it?
over the place.
Yeah.
But the end of Rock Band, they tried to do that. They tried to have like a quintessential version. It was just Rock Band, and then they just tried to DLC it. Like every new update was just more songs. Instead of releasing a new game, it was just, hey, just buy more songs.
Which is evidently not the way to go.
Well, no, not a good business model because people ended up getting bored with it. The whole point of a new game was there's a story mode and the things you can do. But Rock
Exactly.
Band, it's making a bit of a comeback. I liked that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this idea that culturally, singing is far more linguistically and culturally specific, whereas dance is so much more accessible to everyone. You ever see those African kids doing the moonwalking?
Yes.
Damn, they are good.
Exactly.
But they're not singing to the song. They're just dancing to it. And you see it in videos from lots of different countries. Everyone getting into the dance.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's ubiquitous. Everyone can do it. You don't even know you need to understand the lyrics of the song.
Yes.
You just need to feel the beat, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on down.
Yes.
Feel it. In the comments, give me that final line. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on down. It's time.
Oh, I hope
I'm
you
not
got
saying
that
it.
time,
I'm not
people.
saying no hints.
Okay.
But if you know the quote, I want to see it down in the comments.
All right, people, let me know.
But yeah, I am going to look into this. I think I will do a little bit of research because that's a really, really good point. And I do think it's why Just Dance is such a successful franchise, where they're really, really popular. I was surprised by how successful it's been internationally, especially South America. Crazy popular.
Isn't that interesting? I think it's a place where dance is like, as Jackie Chan said, the universal language is action. And whenever you could just move up your body and just start doing things, especially in a funny way, which Jackie Chan is a comedy martial artist.
He was a dancer.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that, just let your head on, just have a go attitude about a game. Naturally, you're going to attract people to want to come along. It's contagious, I'd say. So it's very interesting. Just people, when they see people, it's like the Connect 4 effect. When people see somebody playing Connect 4 from across the room, hey, what's that game? Let me try it, and they just flock around it. And you got the same thing going with this dance game. You see people becoming we made everybody become the entertainment off screen by moving your body. People just either they want to watch you play it, or eventually they want to have a go. It could be your grandma just.
I think that's human nature, and it has been weaponized against people. It's if you see someone doing something and it's engaging, you want to do it. It's like I've watched people play demos at stores, and I've gone, ooh, get in line. Go to an arcade. You watch someone play the arcade machine. I'll put my coin on the list, and you watch someone play, especially play well. You are encouraged to engage, but it works. It can be weaponized against people. It's like what did Chef say? Oh yeah, it's the screaming girl theory. If you get one girl to scream about a boy band, it'll cause other girls to scream, and then you get a whole gaggle, a whole flock of girls screaming about boy bands, and then you're gonna success. Just get people excited get some people excited about something, and people will want to be excited about it. It will encourage others to join in. It's snowball effect, because humans, we're social creatures. If someone's having fun, I want to have fun.
Who likes fun? Me?
Yeah, who likes fun? Yo, I like fun. So if they're having fun, okay, I'll do what they're doing. It's the FOMO, the fear of losing out. It's the fear of connect. It's that whole human flocking together nature thing. And it can encourage people to try new things.
And to do
bunch of people try and do bad things. True. That the opposite of the flock, of course, is the goose step. It's a whole bunch of people goose stepping down the road, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's hence TikTok.
The mob.
Anyway. Yeah, my God. Anyway, people.
Yeah. Whoa, that's an interesting turn of phrase. Sorry, we went right off on a tangent talking about this dance game. Woo.
Oh my God.
But I love the idea that these games are accessible because dance. I personally think that the highest form of communication is song. Because song is something that only species that have no direct fear of predators can do. Most animals are quiet, they hide, because they can be preyed upon. But animals that can escape easily, or animals that can live without fear, express themselves through song, usually birds. And it's also why we have a human desire to express ourselves. Song is like dancing with words. It's musical, it's emotional, and it's communicative. We can communicate through song. We can express ourselves through song. We can be, heard on multiple layers. It's not just, I'm telling you words and you're interpreting those words. I'm telling you the words and I'm telling you, expressing how those words make me feel. It's a multi-layered form of communication, and it's thought to be, or at least argued by some academics, that it's the highest form of communication. Think. The first ever, talking movie. The first time we could put language, we could be heard in a movie. What did we do? We fucking sang.
Interesting. That is it, mate. Profundities aplenty.
True. Right, let's keep it. Moving along. All right, let's see what's next. I forgot what comes next. Oh yeah! This is interesting.
Okay, show me. Okay, Morpheus, show me.
Join Machine Hunter Aloy on a quest to save the world from an ancient evil. Journey through lush landscapes. Dive deep into the cauldrons, climb up onto tall necks, and traverse other locations inspired by.
Okay, sir.
But be
Got my
careful.
attention again.
Swarms of machines are lurking everywhere. Use an array of gadgets like blast boots and gravity bombs to hunt them down. From the nimble watchers to mighty sawtooths. You might even come across the fearsome Thunderjaw. As you progress, you can help Aloy rebuild her home and customize her appearance with lots of outfits. Oh, and you don't have to explore this vast wilderness alone. Team up with familiar faces from the world of Horizon in 2-player local or online co-op. Lego Horizon Adventures.
That's gorgeous, mate. That
This is
top
very
about it.
interesting because we know the Lego franchise is a lot about taking other IP and creating fun, sweet, cute adventures. The Lego Harry Potter series, the Lego Star Wars, the Lego Indiana Jones.
Right.
They take
Yes, exactly.
other IP and they make Lego versions. Horizon Zero Dawn is a Sony-owned IP. It is a very, very popular, very good PlayStation game, but it's a pretty dark, serious one. It's a survival game where you fight robot dinosaurs. Yeah, I know, those two ideas don't mesh. It's dark and serious. Robot dinosaurs! Doesn't work, but it is if you've played the game, you know the story, or you know the Pharaoh virus, the Pharaoh plague. It is a very, very good game. But here we have PlayStation licensing out its IP to Lego of all companies and getting the subsequent product on a Nintendo platform. This is a bold move for PlayStation because they're not just getting their games on other platforms. They're franchising out to other companies. They're creating alternate versions of their games. Could we see other PlayStation games on Nintendo? Could we see other PlayStation IP? Crash Bandicoot, Jax and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Maybe Lego versions of those games?
Well, that was such a dark horse. No, what should I call that? It's just,
Dark Horse is the right one, yeah, because this opens the door to a lot of what ifs, a lot of potential. You know, if Lego and PlayStation are working together and the subsequent products are Lego products, not PlayStation. It's not PlayStation putting their products on their IP on other consoles. You still have to go to a PlayStation game console if you want to play PlayStation games. But this is a Lego game. Could we get alternate versions, Lego or Roblox, Funko? Earlier in this direct, we had Funko. Yeah, there's a lot of PlayStation characters in Funko as well.
this is very good. Wow, that was underhanded. We'll see. That could be some.
Well, it's this weird argument we're seeing in the video game industry. A lot of consolidation, aggressively so. Big companies are just swallowing up smaller companies and holding them. I would say holding them hostage, but just trying to use them as a leverage to get people to buy their products. I mean, Microsoft has purchased Blizzard and Activision. That was a big buy, Sony was fighting that, say under antitrust laws. Hey, you're monopolizing a whole chunk of the gaming market. But it worked. They bought Rare, and now more Rare games are being made. They bought Blizzard, and now we're getting World of Warcraft on Xbox, and Activision games on Xbox. But at the same time, Microsoft are beginning to bring their games to PlayStation. And PlayStation are getting their games on Nintendo. So are we seeing the barriers between these private little gardens that traditionally, if you want to play a PlayStation, you go to a PlayStation game console. If you want to go play Nintendo, you go there. Are we seeing the bit of a cross-pollination? Are we seeing, plants beginning to escape one garden and appear in another? Will the old adage of the video game wars being fought by exclusives, will that kind of be a thing of the past? I don't think so. I think that, you sell consoles based on exclusives, but stuff like this is in my mind, this is an olive branch. This is a test bed. If this is a popular game, if this game works and sells, We're going to see more. We're going to see Xbox games go Lego. We're going to see more PlayStation IP go Lego. We're going to see major IP being used in other places. Could we see PlayStation game characters in Smash? Xbox characters in Smash?
Jeez, that's wow. Okay, wait, that's a lot you said there. So these IPs like Lego in this case could be like the mediums through which you bring uh rival studios IPs in onto another. So let's say, you know what's funny? This reminds me of Angry Birds. What happened to Angry Birds? I remember when Angry Birds was in its heyday, the Star Wars Angry Birds and all the other kind of IPs that are jumping on.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
So yeah, I watched this documentary about, well, I guess YouTube wrote a little piece about what happened to Angry Birds. It kind of, I guess they said it burned itself out in some ways.
I think so.
You know what's funny about Angry Birds is that what's someone's name? Shigeru Miyamoto said he wished he invented it. No, he wished he made it. I think if Angry Birds sold to Nintendo, it would still be alive. I mean, like, what do you think?
Yeah, but we wouldn't have had a movie. It wouldn't have franchised out to other styles.
true.
It would have stayed that way. I mean, Fortnite has been begging just on their knees to get Nintendo characters on Fortnite. Nintendo's gone so far as to allow Fortnite the game on their platform because it's on every platform at this point. But there have been no Nintendo characters. They wanted Samus. But Nintendo said, okay, you can have Samus, but only on Switch Fortnite. And I'm like, no. If we bring a character, it's to all. Like, you could play as Master Chief on the Switch version because Master Chief is a skin available for every version. And Nintendo went, no.
Yeah,
If you want a Nintendo skin, it has to be on a Nintendo console. And they couldn't really reach a consensus.
You know what, I respect Nintendo for that, because
It's their IP. They do what they want with it.
And the thing is that one thing about Nintendo, I think they can see into the future a bit better in some ways. In this case, in my opinion, so when it comes to Angry Birds or even Fortnite in this case, as big as they are, and yes, they're undeniably big, they don't have the roots deep enough to survive like Nintendo IPs. What I mean by that is, again, Angry Birds, when it was in its heyday, I didn't see any bottoming out for it coming down around the corner. Now, for that matter, that's just me being ignorant. I didn't have the knowledge I have now. But there's some things that, how would I say this? Let's put it this way: if Angry Birds said to Nintendo, "We want to sell to you now," and Nintendo said, "Let's just turn you into a proper game powerhouse." I mean, even though they were, and technically they still are, but they're just not pulling in numbers like before. They would shoot up, I think. But they'd be reinvented. They become something else. Fortnite. Where do you see Fortnite in 10 years?
Fortnite's a strange beast because it became crazy popular, and similarly in the way that Minecraft did. It was a perfect storm of different influences, of different events occurring that allowed it to become as popular as it is. And it is like the most popular game period right now. Like a third to half of gay people playing games right now are playing Fortnite. It is stupidly popular, and it's making Epic the kind of money that they could buy other companies. They can buy exclusivity from. They're trying to muscle in on the Steam's monopoly of PC gaming by just throwing a lot of money around. And they can. They've got that kind of cash because they've got the player base to pay for it. But Fortnite is, I don't play it, but I have heard things about it, but it has also franchised out into other kind of gameplay styles. And the argument is that they're trying to make it a one-stop shop. So you play Fortnite, and then through Fortnite, you could play a kart racing, you could play Minecraft style building, you could play shoot 'em ups, you can play platformers, all the styles of game you want, all the different genres on a single thing, like Roblox. Roblox is not a game, but a system of introducing mini games. You download Roblox, you start playing, and then you pick the mini game within that curation. It's basically like a Netflix. Netflix isn't a movie; it's a system of getting you movies. Roblox isn't a game; it's a system of getting you games. And Fortnite's going to pivot towards that kind of thing. It's going to be the thing you use to play games. You play the Fortnite racer, you play the Fortnite shooter. But I don't think it's going to survive. You said something very interesting, that it didn't have the roots. It's adding lots of bells and whistles. There's lots of options on top, but it hasn't got the roots down with the player base. It hasn't got the history. It hasn't got the pedigree that will keep it alive when storms occur, when things get heady and things get tough, or where they make mistakes, as every company does. Will they weather the storm? I don't know if they will. I don't think Fortnite's going to endure 10 years, but I don't see it going away in 5. I think it's going to
At least 5.
it's going to continue to be successful for a while, but this generation is being, the gamers, they play Fortnite, all they play is Fortnite, but then you get introduced to other games and other ways of doing things, and once they go outside of this curated garden and they start seeing all the other things that are available, which you do as you grow up, you get curious, you want to learn more about the medium. They'll want to learn about the history of video games. And then we introduce them to a bunch of older games, which leads to a bunch of newer games, which are not Fortnite. I think it's just a natural progression. If Fortnite pivots itself and creates this space to introduce people to gaming, to keep the attention of younger gamers, it's like you go through the Fortnite phase.
Yes.
You start playing, they get good at playing on Fortnite, and then naturally they grow out of it. That could be a long-term solution. But if Fortnite keeps aggressively buying out other companies and buying out other things and trying to make itself the only game, other companies will resent it. Other companies will pivot to try and cut down its market share. And as you said, it doesn't have the roots. It doesn't have the support to weather a genuine attack. It's not. It won't endure the way it is now. It has to find a nice equilibrium. It has to be part of the gaming ecosystem.
Yes.
It can't be the gaming ecosystem.
Yeah, no way, exactly. And that's it. I think, like you said, it does the Unreal Engine thing, from the Unreal Tournament to the engine, and I think this is it. It's what I love, dude. I love chatting with you, and I hope to, like, when I breathe my last breath, we're still buddies.
Yeah, there was a great meme I saw that had an old woman in a chair, and it was like, "What are you going to do in your retirement?" And the second picture is her playing Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" When I'm old and grey and going senile, I'll still know how to do a Hadouken.
Yeah, dude, that is what it's about. So therefore, my man, sorry, what was I saying? What I've learned about the field of edutainment, to which I say we fall into, especially as educators and in the entertainers, definitely. The value. Here's the thing. We've been around parents and whatnot, or elders, whatnot, who said, "Quit wasting time with these games," and blah 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 blah. What value does it add? Now, that's the thing. The secret to Nintendo is that companies like Nintendo, they actually have a value that they add to the world. And Mario games are the real Mario survives because he's the mascot of Nintendo, and Nintendo was the means by which gamers, not just gamers, players, but the game development companies would bring their products to that platform and popularize their games. So Nintendo became like the Game Freak magazine, but the way by which you would bring out new games, and by virtue of being popular, they would popularize the game that they bring on. But they make sure to curate their library carefully to make sure they don't bring something.
The Nintendo seal of approval.
Exactly. Nothing to bring it into disrepute and so on. So they're always at risk, which makes it fun. That if they're veering off the deep end and they're not getting popular, then all the public shares and start to capsize and whatnot. So they make sure that they are, therefore, they very jealously guard their flock and their inventory and whatnot, and make sure they have titles that do the trick. So this is why Nintendo has roots, because it serves the gaming community at large by being a standard by which, again, people can actually popularize their things by putting it on the Nintendo platform. And of course, now we're looking at Nintendo branching out into different mediums and so on. So when it comes to things like
I
you said,
trust that they will that their new
the future.
adventures will have a certain level of quality. It's like when the Mario movie came out. I expected that movie to be good. Didn't know it was going to be great. I think it's a great movie, but I knew it was going to be good because it would. I expected a certain level of quality from them. They're a company that, as you say, has certain standards.
Yes, exactly. And therefore, when it comes to the Fortnite now, it doesn't matter if it's a popular game. If it doesn't, like you say, serve other people the way Nintendo, the company has been able to serve others through being a platform that people can use, then it will eventually be outdone, and you won't be able to keep up. It doesn't matter how much money you have after. That's the thing. Money isn't
That's
everything.
interesting.
People think
That's
I know.
interesting.
I love about this whole. I just love even studying politics and everything, and the gaming politics and so on. Money is not everything. It really isn't. Money and value
For
are
a
not the same
company, it
thing.
is kind of is. I gotta say,
It-
I
it-
like this. I like this train of thought though, because if Fortnite could become a platform which other companies could slot their smaller products into,
yes.
then it would cease to be a product itself, but more a marketplace, and that is definitely something they would be interested in. They would take, much like the App Store, they would take a cut of anything sold, but it would allow for smaller companies, other companies, to put their own products, their own games on it. And
Exactly.
it would certainly lean into the Epic Games kind of ethos of wanting to be the
Yes.
one-stop shop. Everyone come to our game, only use our game. Everything else is in our game. That's
Yes.
interesting.
That'll be a
Before we
different
quickly move
story.
on, you mentioned
Yeah.
edutainment, and I do think that there is a lot of tangential learning you can do through gaming. Gaming is just
Yeah.
an entertainment; it's a way to relax, but this doesn't mean to say that it's not valuable, not a valuable resource for education. Lots
Yes.
of games have historical figures, have real life tactics, have real life strategies, have real world applicable skill sets that you can practice and learn tangentially through gaming. By using them in a simulated way, you can learn of them and then take that and then do a little more research. There are a lot of very
Absolutely.
good games aimed at children and teenagers that include tangential learning, the events that occurred in history, and it bring them up as plot points, as information required for the game.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things that could happen in the foreseeable future, and a lot of ways that the gaming industry can go. It's going to be an interesting time. I think we're in a difficult period. We've still got companies consolidating and reaching critical mass. They can't keep making more profit. There's only so much profit that can be made. There's only so many people buying games, and they're wringing more and more money out of gamers. They're firing their staff en masse in order to save money to show, our company's still growing, we're still profitable. No, you
Dude,
need an
yeah,
equilibrium, and because
that's it.
at some point you're going to show deficit, and good games are getting thrown to the wayside. It's even happening in even in different industries. The fact that we didn't get the Batgirl movie, that they made a movie and then they scrapped it for tax write-off.
That's what I'm talking about.
How do you make, like, it was in post-production, like they did they filmed the damn thing, they were putting the movie together, but then they were like, oh no, it's more profitable for us if we burn this to the ground. That feels like mob shit. That's like, I know this has got a nice business here, but if I burn it, the insurance will pay out more.
Yeah, oh my God, dude.
You.
That's what I'm talking about when I say the money is not everything. Is that there's a value. There's difference between money and value. When you impress upon certain people, even those dorks behind the scene who do nonsense like that, um, the value that you add, even companies with less money or like again, I always bring it back to Stadia. And a company like Google should have had all the money in the world to have a success. But
Oh, what a
if you
waste.
don't, yeah, exactly, if you don't bring this value to the forefront of people's attention to the point where they want to trade effectively what they do value for what you have, then eventually, no matter what the hell you're dealing with, it's gonna go up in smoke. So this is
True.
why the
True.
roots are important. Yeah, and like you
Yeah,
said
you
about
gotta
the
be.
entertainment,
Well,
I love the
roots
fact like the sounds
roots
of
can be
game,
had.
even the way you play it teaches it.
Yeah. The way
Sorry, go on,
the
you say.
gameplay, the way you do things is good. But when you say roots, I think roots is both historical relevance and pedigree. Like, people got to
Yes.
trust that we can rely on you. That you've done enough games over the time. Like even if Nintendo releases out a bad game, which they have from time to time, there've been some stinkers. But I know that that's not going to be the end of the game. The IP is going to come back better. There'll be a better game down the line. It's like I mentioned with the Zelda. This is the Zelda game could be bad. Could be a bad game. There have been bad Zelda games in the past, not many, but there have been. And you know what? I'm not worried for the Zelda franchise. One bad game is not going to bring this down. There have been enough bad games, there are enough good games that it's still warranted. It's still liked. You know, that's a problem with some of the smaller companies. All these big publishers, they put so much stock money, clout into one game that when it goes bad, they're broken. And big publishers who buy out companies and have them make games that are outside their wheelhouse. Like BioWare. BioWare makes great RPGs. They had no right, no place making a third-person shooter. You know, Anthem.
That's a perfect example.
Terrible.
God
But
damn,
no,
yes.
we're going off too much of a tangent.
Sorry.
We need to keep moving on. Right, moving along. We've got a few games left. Let's do this.
Nintendo Switch this holiday. A Stray's journey begins.
Oh, I'm disappointed by
Shrek?
this.
Oh no, that's not Puss in Boots. Sorry.
No, it's a realistic cat simulator game. You play as a cat in a robot world. It's a beautiful game.
City through the eyes of a cat.
I hope this brings awareness to the poor life that many cats lead in this
Alongside a drone.
the very country of ours.
Way home. Carefully climb to the highest heights. Create new paths for yourself. And stealthily squeeze into tight spaces. Think like a cat to make your way through the city. Careful though. Not everyone
Think about me being married to an animal lover.
including hordes of
Always-
hostile
That's funny, man. Always thinking about these animals in real life.
This is supposed to be a really good game, interesting, and the animation and the effort made into making the cat feel natural, like a real movie, like it should, like an actual animal, is going to great lengths. Which is why I'm kind of depressed. Yeah, I'm not going to play the Switch version of this. This game needs to be on a PS4 at least. It needs the power to look good and to play well. It's like the Switch. Nintendo brought out the Arkham Asylum, the Arkham series to the Switch. My brother picked it up. The last game in the series, Arkham Knight, it plays like garbage. It is slow, it is dropping frames, the sound is terrible, the gameplay is awful. You can't play it. It's a giant game. You know, it was the first three in the series are all PlayStation 3. Yeah, PlayStation 3 games can be on a Switch, but it's a bit of a push. The last one was a PS4 game. You can't put a PS4 game on a Switch. I'm sorry. I love the Switch, but it's just a matter of sheer raw power. It just doesn't have the chops. It hasn't got the horsepower. And that Stray is a game that needs that. And even looking at the video, you know, the trailer, it looks good, but the game should look great.
Yes. Yeah, especially for all the animal lovers out there. I keep stressing. I mean, you're surprised how much the animal loving community is such a big force. I've really been surprised recently. Again, shout out to my wife again. She's does an animal loving channel. There are so many animal nuts out there who would be very disappointed at the illustration.
Empathizing with them. Yeah, say great game. Pick it up on someone else.
Yeah, that's my summation too.
Switch.
Moving along. Oh, good point. Actually, Switch 2 will have the chops. You should have the raw power. So if they had a way of like patching it, you bought the game on Switch and then you played on the Switch 2 and it patches like an auto update to proper level. Yeah, actually, that could work. Some of the old games that don't work so great on the Switch could work better. Hell, even the Arkham series will be polished up. Ooh, that's an interesting premise. Yeah.
But it's clear what they're doing. They promote it and play test it at the same time.
Yeah,
then
I'd
they
imagine
bring it out
so. They'll, you know, the moment they bring out 2, all the older games are like, oh, what can we do? Let's polish it up. Well, the developers would want to, and the company would be like, whether they put money in for it, who knows? All right, what else we got?
Welcome home, Hobbit.
I heard about
Hobbit.
this.
Ever wanted to live like
Show me what you got,
Lord of the Rings?
Bilbo.
It's Animal Crossing Shire
Nestled
Edition.
away in an idyllic, quiet corner of Middle Earth can be yours. Customize your appearance. Decorate your
What I find the cutest thing about the Switch is how
Shire.
graphically limited it is compared to,
Your neighbors. Solve
like you said, these days my mind,
share a meal.
especially with movies,
Or 3.
we're so used to high quality graphics.
Forage and cook.
That when you
I
see this,
think
it's like,
that companies have been pushing this idea of high fidelity, of high graphics as a selling point. But a lot of great games don't have them. You don't
Yeah, you don't
need
need
great
them.
graphics to have a good game. It's just, yeah, I like great graphics on some games, but not all. You know, a game that has a distinct art style trumps one that just looks good.
that's
But
true.
stuff like this works nice. And I do find that the Switch, while, yes, you're quite right, graphically limited, it's got some pretty fast chops to it. It's got some pretty fast processing speeds. So when you're playing games that have big open environments, long distance looks terrible. But it loads that stuff very quickly. Stuff around you looks okay, and then stuff in a distance looks bad. But then when you start moving towards it, it loads it really effectively. I'm thinking play Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Legends. That has an active, like really large environment for you to quickly traverse. And as you're moving across it, you can see pop in and pop out, you know? Stuff's coming into existence as you get closer enough to it. Which, you know, it's a gameplay, it's a fact of the gameplay limitation. It can't have everything there all at once. It has to do what's around you. But as you play through that game, you find faster and faster modes of transportation. And the game pops stuff in fast. So, yeah, I'm suitably impressed at times by what the Switch can do. But asterisk, yeah, it's not as good as the others.
By the way, yeah, you pop out for a second. You talking about like cutting plane issues, like something goes too far in the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
right,
move
so
away
that's-
from an active object within the environment, it's not background detail. It's an active character. As you move away, it goes there. See, no, the hand.
see.
There's a hand, and then boom,
All right.
disappears. And then you get closer, and it's like, oh, hey, the hand's back.
Funny as hell. I see what you're saying. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm not an Animal Crossing fan. I'm not a farming sim guy. I don't play Stardew Valley or any of those types of games. But if I did, hell yeah. Lord of the Rings style one.
Sounds good.
Launches on
Yeah.
the Nintendo Switch
It's beautiful,
system
it's
this
cute,
holiday.
it's simple. You know, find your own hole in the ground and build a home.
Investigate, interrogate, checkmate.
Oh, this guy, the pointing finger man.
Objection!
Yes.
Including a
I
secret
think it's so funny that you can make a game about court cases.
Nintendo Switch as
Well, it's not actual court cases, it's like a dramatization because it's totally inaccurate to both Japanese and American law. But it is a good game. You know, you go, you get given a scenario, you're defending a guy, he tells you the story, you go, you find the evidence. And once you once you think you found enough evidence, you go, you start the court, and then if you haven't found it all, you fail the course. But you use the evidence in court. The witness will come up and will say, I went to the shop at 12 o'clock. And then you go, objection! I have the receipt here that says you were there at 11. Yeah, of course, I meant to say I was there at 11, and I was there with a friend. Objection! Your friend's testimony says that you had nothing to do with him. Okay, yeah, I killed the man. And that's basically the gameplay loop. But it's great. You know, there is an enormous sense of satisfaction when you catch them in a lie. And you have the evidence to prove, yes, you are lying. And you push them and you push them. Very clever.
collection.
This is, yeah.
Edgeworth, take the case out of the courtroom and investigate crime scenes. Gather information by interviewing people and inspecting evidence. Then use the power of logic to solve challenging cases. Enjoy all new hand-drawn character visuals from the original series character designer.
What's another thing I gotta say this which is great for is the hand-drawn efforts.
Your investigation.
I think, yeah, they took a lot of time and effort to make them look good. I mean, this isn't even the original series. This is a spin-off.
Yeah.
Orchestral arrangements and more.
Again, that's the thing I was saying is I was talking to myself the other day about AI again. I was saying the reason why AI cannot do your work for you is because our words are our tools of giving account of our life experiences, even when we make fiction. So when somebody draws something, it has a distinct different charm to it than the AI artwork does. And I mean, you will see. I mean, I know AI art being put out right now is only at a certain level, but yeah, it tends to have that plasticky, dead behind the eyes look often.
Yeah, well, I think AI is a prickly topic, but it's a great tool. If you just use it as a tool, it's great. You just can't use it for the arts because we haven't got general intelligence. Yeah, they're all narrow intelligence. AI, especially ChatGPT and these kind of verbal ones, they know how to put words together. They know which words work best in line, but they have no idea of what that sentence means.
Exactly.
They just know that when you say a subject, then you put a verb, and then you put an object, and then you put a location, and then you put a clause, and they know that's the right combination of how to put it together and which words work better before or after each other. But when you make a sentence, they're like, oh, that's a word, that's the right word for there. And you're like, no. What does the sentence say together?
Exactly, and it's because our meaning that we derive from the world it comes from experience.
The meaning comes from experience. The meaning comes from how we could use language and materials to express a meaning. They have no meaning. AI has no meaning behind it. It is just the correct order of doing things, which is great for a narrow intelligence. It's like a calculator. A calculator can calculate a lot of really, really big numbers. Good. That's what it's supposed to do. But I'm not going to ask it, what does the numbers mean?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because the calculator is like, what do you... I just add stuff together. I add and I subtract and occasionally I times. Ooh, that's it. And so people put in too much stock in AI as this transformative thing. It's not. It's just a really effective tool.
Very effective.
It's like, it's like when, people are like, oh no, computers are going to change the way we do business. Yeah, because we can do the business faster. Oh, the internet will change how we communicate. Yeah, because we can communicate faster. And AI, oh, it can change the way we write. Yeah, because you can write dumb stuff really quickly. Just have it write the simple stuff and then it's done. I've used AI before. I've been selling stuff on eBay stuff, and eBay has implemented a AI in its caption boxes. So you can put information in and then press AI and it takes what you said and it makes like a more flowery, more seller friendly interpretation of it. But it's garbage. It's terrible. It takes all the flavor, all the specificity out of it, and it gives you this bland, simple boilerplate stuff. And you're like, oh, that's a waste. And so I just stopped using it. Now I write all the blurbs myself. I dig and I write about what I know, what I feel, because it carries more weight rather than this is a good book, part of the series.
Exactly, that's it. And that's the thing. If you ask, no matter how smart it is, if you get all the AI machines in the world, first of all, they effectively act as one. Even if you try and program it to have different personalities or whatnot, because neither of any expert entity knows as understanding of meaning through experience. So they're all just imitations. Then it said when you compare it to somebody who speaks from experience like you, if you're selling a product, you know what it felt like using that thing, the damn thing and whatnot. It'll never compare. Now at the same time, it's a great tool for getting synonyms, like teaching.
It's a fantastic thing if you use it as it should be, as a tool. You have a specific problem, you go to an AI, and the AI will solve that problem, will give you the information you want really quickly, really effectively. Exactly. But you can't ask it to do something it can't do. You don't ask a cat to fish.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you could, but certainly not.
I've no doubt that a cat can get a fish. somehow.
not
But I'm
with the fishing
asking
rod.
it to fish.
Oh, right.
And
Okay.
like, yeah, no, that's not how it does. That's not what it's supposed to. It can maybe get me a fish, it may be, but it's always going to be in a really roundabout way. It's not going to be the way I want it to be.
Oh,
Right.
that's fantastic. Yeah, sorry.
Moving on.
Yeah.
No, we're running out of time.
We didn't really talk much about this game anyway. Oh, well, I guess it's not for us.
Ace Attorney series is a great series. It's really fun, but it's a very particular. It's a puzzle game. It's basically a puzzle game wrapped up in the trappings of a court. So it's just like find the pieces and put the pieces together in the right order. And at the beginning, it's a lot of fun. But then the later puzzle ones, unless you've found all the evidence, you're boned. So you can't start the court case until you know you've got all the evidence. And sometimes, it's like a point and click. You got to just push everything in the picture to find everything. It's hard to game it.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
That was funny. Maybe we did 25 more minutes.
It's a Japanese game. It's the Apocalypse by Monsters.
Oh my god.
Damn.
After a devastating attack by unknown assailants, Takumi Samino's life gets turned upside down. A mysterious school mascot suddenly appears.
With a visible brain.
To get out of harm's way.
Ew.
And forced to enroll at the Last Defense Academy, along with 15 other students. Their mission is to defend the school from hostile student enemies for 100 days. An academy shrouded in secrecy. And the unavoidable loss of allies. Can Takumi survive this 100-day trial, colored by extreme and despair, and return to his normal life? The creators of Danganronpa present the 100-line Last Defense Academy, launching on Nintendo Switch.
Interesting. Danganronpa is a pretty good series, but it's about a bunch of kids locked in a school, and there's a killer amongst them. They've got to figure out who is the killer as bodies start dropping. It's clever. And Aniplex is a anime company that I trust. I like their work, so this could be good.
Sounds like a Among Us variation mixed with what's the thing called? Battle Royale? No, maybe not.
I don't know about Battle Royale is more the kids killing each other. You might be thinking of Fire Emblem. It's got the boards, and then you've got to strategically place your appropriate character against certain enemies to achieve maximum damage. Yeah, it feels like it's just like a tower defense Fire Emblem anime game.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I say looks good, but I can see myself getting bored with it. I don't know if I'd survive to the 100th day.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
what's your thoughts on anime games?
I love
like there are games that are based upon an anime, and there are games that have the anime aesthetic or the anime tropes.
Oh no, I love the anime aesthetic. The games. We're not even talking about like rival schools, are we, or the fighting game?
Yeah, rival schools is absolutely in the anime aesthetic. It's got that school kids battling each other out. They're all impossibly talented for their age. They're all got really uniquely designed characters, like the baseball guy has a great gameplay mechanic where he has 3-strike rule, and the soccer guy he's all about kicks because he's all about kicking the ball. Those little things, all these little touches, they're flurries.
Yeah, I love these games. Because I love anime. I don't know. Is it Japanophile? I don't know. So
Dude, we're both people who moved to Japan. Yeah. It's assumed we like anime.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So I'm all about that, and I just love the mania. I'm the kind of guy when growing up, some people would, I don't know, parents would get annoyed about kids liking Pokemon so much. I love the I love the mania. I just love the idea that you can go to the store, get Pokemon candy, go to the book section. There's Pokemon books. Go home, watch Pokemon TV show. Play the Pokemon game. I just love any more opportunities to get deeper into that world. So yeah, seeing it in the game
No,
does it.
was an interesting world.
But when it comes to the actual shows, well, you know what? So I think something about anime naturally lends itself to the game world. The way it's drawn, the noses look like complete polygon-based, well, typical anime, at least with the triangle noses and whatnot, shapes and so on. So they're designed for PS3, not PS3, PS1 polygon level graphics. But at the same time, they're not the same as the anime. No. So, or even the manga, for goodness sake. So it's a different experience completely. But it depends. If the game is original enough, I like Rival Schools. I love the Street Fighter Zero, Street Fighter Alpha series.
That feels like a very anime version of Street Fighter. Street Fighter was like a fighting game, and then the Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter Zero. It's like, ooh, that's very anime. I think that it's an interesting. I draw a distinction between anime and animation, because the anime aesthetic and the anime tropes are quintessentially Japanese.
Yes.
But you can take that style, like the way of drawing, and just apply different countries' interpretations to it. That's why we're seeing a lot of other countries throw their hand in. You've got Korean manhwa, which is their version of manga, becoming very popular. I personally like the Hong Kong style. I've always had a personal preference for that. But when it comes to animation, lots of countries have their own manga. Teen Titans was an American TV show, very, very anime. Lots of lots of other popular shows. The Dragon Prince, that's an anime.
There you go. Exactly, dude. Yeah, that's it. It's its own thing. And
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Right, exactly.
Quintessentially,
I just somehow in my mind I separate. Saying about what you said about anime and animation. I separate anime games to their own little thing.
Yeah, well, game's game, but I think that there's two categories. I think that there are those that follow tropes visually and as narratively of anime, and then you have like games just based upon an anime. That's just like a game based upon an existing IP. Like if a Naruto game, of course it's an anime game. It's an anime. Looks like the anime in question. It looks like the series in question. But then something like this 100-year thing, it's an anime game because it's got the visual characters, it's got the high school setting, it's got monsters, and they're not just scary, they're also pretty cute. It's a very, very anime environment. But, it could be good. Could be good. Right, 2 more to go.
Wait. This has been brilliant. And we've been on quite a few tangents, didn't we?
Saga is a series I haven't played, but I really want to.
Okay, one was going to be the last one, but anyway, Square Enix Romancing Saga 2.
Like, this, in my book, is an anime game.
The empire of Beren across multiple generations while challenging the legendary.
The overly exaggerated costumes, the sprawling epics,
7 heroes who have turned to darkness.
The decentralization of a main character. It is the group of heroes.
Yes, it feels Ghibli-ish, almost. No.
And of course, she can't just fire with a bow. She's got to spin and stretch before she fires.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all these little things. For me, these little flourishes are what define this particular genre. And for me, this is like a JRPG.
Yes.
A Japanese RPG. And now I know that's a term that's got a bit prickly in more modern days, but I don't use it in a derogatory term. I use it as a way of differentiating the style, the visualization of it, and the narrative tropes.
No qualms around here, man. It is what it is.
Turn-based battles have also evolved into timeline battles, where the action order is key.
Final Fantasy X had the timeline, and it worked fairly well.
It's funny that the anime style with it. There's something about anime that looks like it is the fantasy of every hikikomori kid out there. And for those of you who don't know what hikikomori is, that's a Japanese word for a shut-in. all those kids in Japan who have social communication issues, which in my opinion, I personally put down to, well, I say it's been exacerbated by the mask stuff. Definitely see these anime characters as being some sort of alter ego of themselves.
That's not. It's partially true for a lot of places, but it's interesting you brought up the hikikomori because Japan is a country that has an enormous amount of social pressure put on people to conform, to fit in, to achieve. Much like of all the Western nations, America is probably one of the worst for this. There is an enormous amount of pressure put on people by people around them. There are a lot of social pressure to conform and achieve. And in Japan, it is just turned up to the like, it goes beyond 11. It is immensely intense. And people who do fail or people who struggle to fit in, they retreat from the world. They hide away. They become recluses, shut-ins, what we would classically call a hermit.
Or end themselves.
And they didn't want to bring that one up, but or they just solve the issue.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
That's
euphemism.
That's the only euphemism I want to use for that. But they get rid of the problem. But it's not uncommon for people who have retreated from society, especially from human connection, from collaboration, because we are social creatures. We need to be around people. People who have removed themselves have psychologically, they find ways to disassociate either from themselves or to psychologically strengthen themselves by associating with a character. It's not uncommon for people. I mean, everyone's got their heroes, people they look up to, and like, hey, this is the ideal I want to strive for. But people who have removed themselves from others find it easier to associate themselves with inhuman characters, with more fanciful characters. It's how people end up becoming furries. You're more inclined towards the non-human because you don't associate yourself with other humans. It's not that they're bad people. People aren't wrong or broken or anything like that, but they have not been served by their nation. The culture they're in has let them down, has failed them. And as such, in Japan specifically, they retreat from the world and they begin to disassociate with other people, which is a damn shame because they're good. At their core, they're just people who struggle to find their feet. And who hasn't? Everyone struggled to find themselves when they were growing up. Everyone struggles to fit in. It's just so much bleeping harder here than it is in other countries.
That's one big thing. That's a good point you make. One thing that we take for granted as Brits and Westerners is that we have English. And we, as teachers of English, we know that when you're in a country from a country like us, where you can go to other parts of the world and expect that somebody will speak your language.
Every country speaks English.
Exactly, that's one thing. So when you come to Japan and you realize that you guys, all you have is Japanese, and you can't go anywhere else and expect them to not to speak that language. That's why they're so dependent on it. It's very much like one of those. I don't remember this. It's a story about communism. Is it Stalin? I don't know. There's a story about a man who picked up maybe you've heard of it, somebody in the comments, picked up a chicken, and he plucked his feathers out, ripped his feathers out, and he put it down and gave it some food, and he told the person who he was demonstrating this to, now this bird will rely on me for the rest of its life. Because it's like, even though you're feeling such abuse for a certain supposed caregiver, you realize that they're the only without them you got nothing else, and they're the only way you're going to survive. So ironically, you get this Stockholm syndrome, the kind of way to defend the very matrix that you're part of. But I don't know, maybe I went too deep there. But what I'm trying to say was,
I see where you're going, and you're not wrong that like America, Japan is a country in and of itself. Like, people in Japan don't travel abroad often. It's traditionally, naturally, people in Japan travel to Japan and they speak with other Japanese, and they, a big factor in Japanese media is they are only interested in getting to the top of the Japanese charts. They, it's not often that they branch out. Anime and manga has broken into other countries, into other cultures. But so that's gaming and anime manga has broken into the larger world. But for the most part, most aspects of Japanese culture don't. They stay here and they fight for supremacy within Japan alone, because they're not interested in expanding into other areas, other countries. Japan is a country with a very, very strong sense of national identity. They have their own food, they have their own clothes, they have their own culture, they have their own way of doing things, and this is the Japanese way of doing it. And that's one of the reasons why they're so resistant to foreigners coming and introducing other cultures, other ways of doing things, other foods, other styles, because they don't want or at least many Japanese don't want the traditional way of doing things to change. Sadly, that's not how life works. People change. Cultures change.
We can't blame the people in that.
Yeah, I don't blame them for wanting to keep things the way they are, because the way they are is what's worked for them so far.
Yeah.
But it would be, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't painful.
Detrimental at the very least. Yeah.
If you don't fit in here, if you fit in here, you can have a great quality of life. And even for foreigners, if you come to Japan, it's up to you to acclimate to the Japanese way of doing things. If you do, you can make friends, you create networks, and Japanese are very loyal. You make some Japanese friends and they will go to bat for you. They will fight for you. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, if you come here, if you don't do things their way, if you don't acclimate to their way of doing things, you won't get in part of the in-group. You won't make friends. You won't be joined into social circles. Yeah. And it is hard to live here. It can be it's why people often refer to Japan as a very isolating or a very lonely place to live. It is if you're not part of the group. You have to find a group. You
have to find. Yeah, dude. I think everybody out there who's given tourism advice from Japan would say the same thing. I'd agree.
Coming here, but it's true of Japanese. That's what the hikikomori are. They are Japanese who could not fit in.
I think that's the even more profound part. It's one thing for a tourist to say that becoming an expat or whatnot, or becoming a settler, but it's when you're in Japan and you experience that, you feel like a tourist in your own place because of that lack of finding a group. Yeah, it's profound. My wife and I have been around different parts, and it's very interesting how you can experience that, even if you're her, if you're born here, or you're me, and you feel like, okay, you better get busy quickly with figuring out where you belong and so on, so to speak. I mean, this is why I keep in touch with you, Game. Another reason, because I love talking about games and so on, but to speak about it in our mother tongue, it's a rare experience, especially to share our experiences here. And they say anime is. Like Hello Kitty is, when you license it out to the world, it can be very profitable because it's very ubiquitous, a bit like the Nintendo brand itself. But for things that are very localized, it's just regarded, man.
There are a whole mess of games that just never make it out of the country because they are so Japanese. They are so steeped in the logic and the culture of this country that it's why older anime never really broke out of Japan, because it was variety humor. It was cultural jokes. They made references to tropes and Momotante and old stories and fairy tales and common parlance that you just wouldn't hear outside of Japan. It wasn't until Jump and that kind of shonen, more youth-orientated, very simple stuff that really broke the world. Those are the kinds of programs, those are the kinds of animes that had cross-cultural appeal, because everyone could get behind a hero. But if someone came out and was arguing with you that, why haven't you fed the pigs with the extra things, and then they started bleeding out their nose, what the fuck is going on there? Exactly. You're like, it's because Japanese often have their own personal farms. They farm their own vegetables and animals. And, if you have a nosebleed, it means you're thinking dirty thoughts. Who would know that? Who would know that outside of Japan?
Yeah, but you're killing me right now, baby. Get everybody out there.
Right.
If you watch it, oh my god, this is the
Yeah.
last thing I'll say. Is
But
a show
it's
called Vagabond. There's a show with this character like Master Roshi that's having those nosebleeds, and we were watching it, and I showed it to my parents, and you're like, what the hell is going on? What the hell's going on there? That is such a natural reaction. What is going
yeah,
on? The in
absolutely.
joke people.
It's
In joke.
it doesn't make sense unless you get the reference. And
Yeah.
outside of it's like a lot of countries. You watch their shows and you can learn of their culture through their shows because it's steeped in their culture. Right, moving along though. That's a good point. But yeah, if you are interested in these kinds of topics, especially about living in Japan, the cultural stigma that comes around expats, and naturalizing to Japanese ways, and the hikikomori, there are a number of great videos you can watch. There are lots of different people who are out helping people like this. But it's a serious issue. It's a more painful issue of living in Japan. It's difficult to acclimate to different cultures when you move abroad, especially faraway countries. But Japan has a uniquely difficult barrier to get through. And if you are interested in that, let us know. We can talk more as people who move to Japan. We've got the experience.
Exactly, mate.
Right, this is the second to last video. The last one, oh god, I'm trying to get to it.
Alright, people, time for me to shush. Man, look at that chest. That is, and whatever that white stuff was dripping on it, which I hope was nothing sorted. Anyway, but
Your empire's future. Your legacy from
it's very
otherwise.
pure anime.
It looks good. It looks good. I think it's a remake of an old game, but this is a series I'm just not familiar with. I know of it, Romancing Saga.
You know, gaming, then I gotta say, there's something.
Oh no,
about the
it is
3D.
just a sequel. It's a sequel.
Oh, right. Like I say, there's something about the anime style that lends itself to 3D so much.
It looks well. It looks good.
Yeah, but I just wonder, do you think that they planned years ago to give Son Goku this nose, for example, that looks like it's a 3D nose? By the time they put it in the game, it translates so perfectly.
It would have just been an art. What was the art style? I know firsthand how difficult it is to draw and the struggle that manga artists go through. All you need to do is look at the Cell Saga. Akira Toriyama came up with a great villain, Cell, and then his editor went, "Nah, he looks too scary. Make him look more human." Boom, imperfect Cell. Nah, he looks too scary. Make him look more human. Boom, perfect Cell. That's why we have perfect Cell. It was basically an editorial decision. The nose thing is just, I don't think he was thinking that far ahead.
But it's
Shame. It was a happy accident. It worked out. They took what they had and it worked out really well. I mean, the anime lends itself to 3D or cell shading so perfectly. But again, cell shading was partially developed in Japan. So they were using the resources to help make it. So, the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, chicken and the egg, though. Who knows what came first?
Right, last game. Yeah. Big one. Big.
We hope you're excited to experience the full remake of Romancing Saga 2.
Oh, it is a remake. Yes, I knew it was a remake.
That's almost everything in today's Nintendo. Next will be our last announcement. Please take a look.
It's a good one.
All right. Fill up the screen.
Welcome home, baby. I missed you.
I've had a heart attack. I'm having a heart attack.
Oh, it looks good.
Holy smokes.
Oh, it looks good.
God damn, son.
Scanning.
That is bloody beautiful, my man.
Mothball!
Look at that. Ooh. Look at that. And I love the way that it's 3D, but you can get the 2D panning style. This is going to be the next movie in Nintendo, or one of the next movies, definitely. I'm just sure of it. It's got all the girl power you could want.
It's about freaking time. Oh,
Is it what we are waiting for, people?
yeah. They announced this like 2017, 2018, 2017. It's been almost a decade. Towards a decade. It's been 7-8 years since they announced it. And admittedly, they announced it, people were excited, people wanted to know more, and then after a few years, they came out and they said, hey, we're going to scrap the entire game and start from scratch, start from brand new, from the start, from spare one. The game was not up to snuff. They admitted, okay, we've been working on it, but it's not good enough. It's like you said about the Nintendo quality. They were not happy with it. They were not happy with what the game was, what this company was doing, so they went, screw it. We're going back to Retro Studios, the guys who made the first games, and we're going to start right from the beginning. And since then, we've had nothing. We've had no word on it. And we knew that they were working on it, and we knew it was going to be a big thing. But, bam, it's out, and it looks good.
Game of that.
Oh, god damn, it looks good.
It was beautiful. The last direct we did, the first half it ended up with a game that goes dear to my heart, and now we're ending with one that is yours. I guess your cup of tea.
Oh man, Metroid Prime series was one of those great moments where a long-running IP was able to reinvent itself. It was like when the jump from Mario to Mario 64 was enormous. It may have only been one generation, but the sheer change going from a 2D to a 3D was by order of magnitude. Then, of course, after a couple of years of the N64, we had Ocarina of Time, taking a Zelda game and creating that environment, that 3D environment. And it was incredible. But Metroid was always one of those series that was beloved, but never sold well. It was never a successful series, but it was a critical darling. But making a Metroid game 3D? No, it couldn't be done. But they brought out Metroid Prime. All the naysayers said, no, you got it. You've got that sense of claustrophobia, of isolation, of exploration in a hostile alien world. You're a lone hunter on a world that's trying to kill you, filled with enemies that are trying to kill you. And it was so good. And 2 and 3, again, great games. We wanted more, but it's just been so long. I am
genius.
I am decidedly excited for this game, but I am concerned because I understand the hype. I understand the nature of hype. And a game that's been hyped up for years and years and years and years, no matter how good it could be, is it gonna be good enough? Is it going to make people happy? Are people going to temper their expectations, or are they going to be the rabid fanboys that we all know they are? I don't want the game to suffer because it took longer than expected, is all I'm saying. I don't want the game to come out, be great, which I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. I hope it's great.
Yes.
But I don't want people to get pissy with it because we've waited so long for it, And I've done it. I admit it. I was young and stupid. I got angry with stuff that, I wanted it now. No, but I don't want a good series, a good game to suffer because I want more. I want more Metroid Prime. So this game has to be a success. Right, to finish it off, we've seen the kind of the narrative beats. There's a guy, he's attacking, he's wearing his power armor, he's got Metroids. But the actual game, look at that. Look how beautiful this environment is. Flowing waters, the natural crevices, the plants and animals. This is going to be a world we have to dig deep in, explore, find the heights and the depths within it. And there you can see a natural man-made structure, or a unnaturally made structure. There is layers to this world we have to uncover. Ooh, I'm excited. I really am. but it's next year. Which is what making me think: is it going to be? They've said it. Well, they've said that it's coming out in 2025. I don't know if this is going to be a Switch 2 launch title, or it's going to be coming out on both. Because Breath of the Wild was a Wii U and Switch launch title. So I'm thinking, yeah, they might be teasing the first big game for the new console.
Yeah, I think this is a both for sure. Because it's they always do that. If it's again Breath of the Wild.
I mean, if it doesn't come out on the Switch, people will be pissed. We waited an entire generation for this.
Yeah, if they want to break that 1 million mark, I'd say that not 1 million, 100 million consoles.
1,550,000.
I'm not saying 100 million. What are we talking about?
So 155.
155. Yeah. If I want to break the PlayStation 2's record, you got to put it on the Switch.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah, because I think if they brought it out on the Switch, it would certainly help sell. We've got a lot of heavy hitters. We've got some great fighting games. We've got some great RPGs, some great JRPGs. We've got a new Zelda game coming out. We've got new Mario right at the beginning of the video with Brothership. We've got Mario and Zelda and Metroid all coming to the Switch. This thing has not done yet. There is a lot to be excited for, and this is a great Nintendo Direct. It really showed us.
It's probably the best I've seen. To be honest,
it's been one of the best in a while.
One of the best, yeah. My God, where's Professor Suzuka? I got to chase her up, but for sure she should be here for this.
Yeah, I'd say this was a better Direct than most. This is a better Direct that like unto the first start of the Switch generation, and I'm excited for the end of the Switch's life, the start of the Switch 2. There's a lot to be excited for, but I do think, like I said last time, I think that a lot of companies are bringing out big, heavy-hitting numbers because people are getting angry. Fans are getting angry with the industry. We don't like the way that these bigger companies are treating the developers, are treating the lower-level workers. The people who make games are getting trampled on by people who are trying to make money. And as you said, this is our passion. This is our hobby. This is a medium that we are defensive of. We've made it part of our identity.
Yes.
So if you're going to railroad people who are going to bring us games, something's got to give.
Yeah.
So this season needed to be big. It needed to come out with some massive games to really get people excited about playing games again. And I will say Nintendo did just that. I mean, they really did well. I would say that they won. Nintendo won the console. This generational, this E3. There's so many good games, but it's just a prickly time to be a gaming fan.
That's a true point. By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. You mentioned E3. Did you say that they're on their way back, or trying to?
I think E3 is done. E3 tried to make itself more relevant to influencers. It tried to lean in the social media side, but once companies decided that they weren't going to go and show off their games there, they were just going to do it in a curated online way. Well, once they could just go to, just make their own videos and put it on YouTube. They didn't have to go. Before, social media, E3 was where you went to learn about the next year worth of developments. That was how we got trailers, it's how we got information. Like you mentioned, the classic Nintendo curation, they were the head honchos during a time. And we went to Nintendo Magazine, we went to PlayStation Magazine. And that was where we learned about what was happening at E3. Once the internet became a thing, gaming companies started putting the trailers online, and then Nintendo started doing their tree houses. They stopped going to E3 in so much that they only went with one or two games. Like Breath of the Wild, they were there with Breath of the Wild. They were there with, Mario Odyssey, but they just put their stuff online. And then other companies went, oh, screw E3. And without the games, E3 died. So now we have the Summer Game Show Fest. We have a number of different entities bringing us videos like this, like a Nintendo Direct, like the PlayStation State of Play, right, the Xbox Showcase, and that's the new state of affairs.
Yes. Not
but I still refer to it as E3 season. It's the E3 season because it's when we see the new games, it's when we see the new trailers. Yeah. Maybe it's just the the Grand Pyramid. It's just a way of consolidating them all into one title.
I think calling it an E3 period is perfectly perfectly in keeping with the tradition, which is what it's all about, man. It should be definitely celebrated as a E3 period. I mean, I don't know, maybe as you said, because E3 kept crapping on the low people, and then it's just lost that respect.
I do think it's quite an effective, marketing tactic. Having them all come out, all the big companies come out with all their trailers at the same time. It's a period we all get excited. We see everything all at once, and we get excited for the rest of the year. If they brought out these games in drips and drabs, a bit here, a bit there, a bit here, a bit here, yeah, we get excited, but it wouldn't be a direct. It wouldn't be one video with all the big hits, getting us really stoked. It's that cumulative effect,
Yes.
If you 1 week you saw a video and were like, oh, it's great, I'm excited for that. And then you go to work, and then you go home, you cook your dinner, you go to sleep, you have a shower, blah, 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 blah. It just, it wouldn't have the same impact as a full trailer montage. Oh, well.
Wow, man, that was a fantastic discussion. My game is audience. Thank you very much for your support, but we very much love watching and reviewing the stuff for you, and not to mention for us, we're actually fans.
I'm excited for this Nintendo Direct. I think it was the best of all of these game shows. The Summer Game Fest had some really interesting stuff going on. PlayStation had some nice videos, but it was kind of lackluster. Xbox did very well, some good names, but again, it just felt a little bit bittersweet because all they did was buy those companies, and now they're starting to use the IP. Maybe they'll be good, maybe they'll be bad, but I'm not sure if I want to buy an Xbox to play them. So all of that, along comes a Nintendo Direct and gives us games we've been waiting for years, games that I didn't even know we wanted, and some amazing fighters.
Oh my god, that does it. All right, I have to make a list after this of where to go from here. Gamer Dan, by the way, thanks so much for adding the video gameplay stuff to the.
If those of you who don't know, the Steam Next Fest is a celebration of new games. Lots of companies come out with demos. I binged my way through 12 games and gave my thoughts to some of these bigger titles that are coming out. Some pretty good stuff. So some games that I was really impressed with. Some not so, but go and check out my Steam Fest videos for more of that.
Thank you, Gamer Dan. Oh my gosh, and I guess any closing comments, but I guess we've really exhausted our commentary at this point. So, biggest plans today. Well,
the only one word I can say.
Peace out, man. Catch you next time.
Until next time.
Gamer Dan, thanks so much, mate.
And remember, like, subscribe, comment.
Please share it, people. Thanks, mate.
Bye.